She did talk about coming back next, probably the third or the fourth quarter, so she could possibly do a parking lot, redo the parking lot.
Awesome.
I think it'd be smart because of where it is.
Does
I
she
guess
have,
I don't know where this is at.
This is
And it's
by,
still not,
do you know those red buildings over on the highway on the curve? The Mexican,
there's like a Mexican hair salon.
Bakery.
And there's like,
oh yeah, the bakery?
this is to the north,
Okay. Cool.
across the highway from Wild West Ford.
Awesome.
Sheila, do you have any comments for this packet? Do they have everything? It looks like they have everything they have here.
Yes, ma'am. And their total requested funds is $1,538.88.
This is the part I'm getting confused on. This was the part that I was confused on the last one because like these are not the same as this.
The receipt?
No, like the amount requested in here, maybe this doesn't mean anything? Because this is obviously she paid more.
Yeah, we match up to 50%, so the amount requested is only gonna be 50% of the total receipts.
Of the total of,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay, that's why I'm,
that makes sense.
cool, that's awesome.
What are this Gloria?
Oh, so they're just doing the math for us, that's fine.
Okay, I was like,
It looks like it's everything's here. I motion to approve this grant for Miss Barco.
Our second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the grant, say aye.
Aye.
I,
All right, motion carries.
Woo-woo.
All right, item number 8, board and staff comments. Sheila, you want to head us out on that one
There's a
first?
cool
Because I think
thing
you have some
in
stuff to
here.
talk about,
Yeah, there
right?
Yeah, I want to see.
Yes. So this came out of the town hall meeting. I know there's a couple other ones that we're working on. This is like so preliminary draft. It's the draft preliminary, the preliminary draft. It's like
Exciting.
very at the beginning. So what we looked at was the 25.5 acres that is owned by the city of Guymon. This does not include any of the land that is owned by the school. There's also some additional property that's owned by an individual, and there's 2 lots that are owned by Kids Inc. This doesn't include any of that. This is just the city of Guymon. We've kind of reworked it a few times. So this would be a year-round baseball, softball complex that would accompany, if you look on the third page, sorry, you'll see there's 10 fields with 2 t-ball, 3 baseball. Why I meant like this is extremely preliminary. These are all within the range. They're just not shaped as great because,
This is awesome.
I had to freehand this, so, I can barely draw a straight line. And then 3 softball, and this does include adult softball, so they're big enough for adult, I think I did minor and junior league, all the way to the majors as well. And then the 2 coach pitch, which is the t-ball for the girls. We had played around a little bit of what we were thinking about the concession stands, and it was a floated idea. And again, this is very preliminary idea. It doesn't mean it's going to be come to conception, but to have an indoor concession with some dining and the restrooms inside, with the concession large enough to have it like 2 openings for each side. If we're just doing one side of if it's just baseball, then we just have the baseball side open, like the north side or the south side. A playground and 2 batting cages. The cost of the batting cages would be considerably low. We're, just running the slab and then just the metal tin roof and then just netting. So, and that is something that I was asked about as well. And then parking and bus parking.
I don't play enough baseball to know much, but it looks great to me.
Yeah, I think this looks great.
Yeah, another part of this that we haven't really discussed is the fact that a lot of us soccer guys, after hearing about the works this happening, we want to start kickball leagues and do kickball as well.
Yeah.
Yep,
A
that
lot
would
of
be
other
fun.
cities, have huge adult co-ed kickball leagues, and I think that'd be way cool, way fun. So, just another thing we could do with these facilities.
Something else that came out of the meeting was somebody had asked about the possibility of us getting an HVAC system for our hospitality center. that has already been done, so that's good. That was done prior to even the meeting. But we are looking into kind of the covers for the stands, even the halfway cover, and then covering the whole thing, as well as the restrooms. And I think that's pretty much it that was asked about.
So even though these are all like preliminary designs, do we have any preliminary numbers possibly coming?
It said on
out?
it was unknown.
Yeah,
On the
no,
cost.
it's unknown, and I tried to run some numbers, just kind of
Ballparking it?
ballparking. And if I was doing it, when I initially started this, we had, the 6 fields. I was just, the first time, and it was already 4.5 with it just being turf infield and grass on the outfield. But those are just really rough numbers, and a 3,000 square foot concession. So this is almost, 4 times that. It's actually almost 5 times that. Yeah, it is 5 times that size, so.
Wow.
It's just gonna kind of depend on all those factors. So as soon as everyone's okay with this conception, then we'll kind of go a little deeper.
Development. That's pretty cool.
Well, I guess then for the record, I'd like to see this go further.
Same.
So
Yeah.
we can start seeing some numbers and put this to, see how realistic this really could be.
And I'm not sure if she had, yes, trying to see if there's any more notes. I think we just have Miss Rhonda, if you would like to present the financials, or no? Or comment on them, not present them, but comment on them.
So at this point,
Yeah, it's just so it's recorded, I guess.
okay, so your financials are looking pretty good.
Oh.
At this point, we're at 50% year completed. So if you look at your revenue, we're low, we're 46.84. A lot of that's due to our hotel motel owners not getting their taxes paid on time. We have 1 or 2 that are always delinquent, and I do my best to remind them that they're late. In fact, we have one that's 3 months behind right now, and I'm dealing with her. And if she doesn't have it in today, we'll take it to further action and get Mike and possibly the city attorney involved. Expenses, of course, is always good when you're below the 50%. That means you guys are watching your dollars and your dimes and making good choices on how you spend your money. So overall, I think your financials are solid. Convention and tourism usually stays pretty well. And it's just pushing the revenue and trying to get the money collected from the hotel motels, the biggest challenge we have. And I would say 98% of our hotel motel owners are on. They get their stuff paid, and it's usually here on time. Like I said, we do have a couple. So, you have any questions?
I do want to ask, since you do finances for us, if this baseball field does come to fruition, what would the setup and payout look like for that? Would we get a loan, or would we pay directly, or how does that?
Well, that all depends on what's involved. My direction comes from Mike.
Okay.
And so it would probably be set up kind of like a project. You go out for bids, correct? Yeah.
It's nothing that convention and tourism would be taking on. This would be a city project.
But then the money would come out of convention and tourism
Convention
yearly?
tourism, or if there's any grants,
Okay.
What your bottom line is, if you look, your fund balance as of right now is at 1.2 million, okay? That grows. When your revenue is more than your expenses, it grows. If our expenses are more than the revenue, it's going to decrease.
Okay.
So you do have this amount of money in your fund balance.
Yeah.
And
To answer Shelby's question, Shelby, it's really pretty early right now. I mean, we're looking at this project, we're looking at probably 3 or 4 other little projects, and more likely go out to a loan or maybe some revenue bonds or something like that. So it's real preliminary right now. So
Okay. And so,
That doesn't mean, I mean, we're looking at it as to where maybe convention and tourism will help pay for it, so maybe a sales tax or whatever. So we're in the very preliminary on the financials part of it right now. So.
Yeah. So,
And I'm gonna touch a little bit on the delinquent of the hotel. I think it's about 3 months behind. We're gonna turn those over to legal this afternoon. There's no sense us having to wait on our money.
yeah, and we've,
Every month that goes by, there's another month, and it just gets out of hand fast.
Yeah.
We'll recoup that pretty quick.
yeah, once she hears from the attorney, I should have a check within 30 days. For all, she'll be caught up and she'll do really well. And then she kind of slacks a little bit, but I try to stay on top of her as best I can. And
So, I've got one other thing, we'll just hear that.
so, any other questions?
No, but
Thanks
thank
for
you,
explaining
Rhonda.
that.
Thank you for your work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anytime you have any questions, feel free to call me if I can help explain anything to you. This little form here, I think you guys got that kind of shows you where we're at. And for June, we're actually up 6% than what we were. And a lot of people will go, well, why is that? Well, again, it's how many of the hotel motel owners have paid for May's in June, and now how many have paid after that go into it. And you know, once we close the month, that's it. The rest of it goes into the next month.
So you're saying we can't blame it on that awesome event we had last month, I guess?
Normally, people question Pioneer Weekend, and it's just,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, it's
That would
like,
make
yes,
more
we had a
sense. I was lower this
successful
year.
time, we did well, but, you know, getting the hotel motel people to get it paid on time in June where it reflects, yes, this is May's, it happens in June sometimes, is a challenge. But every year, I think we're getting better and better. I do put calls out there. If they do know, they can call me at any time. If they're having any issues, they can bring them to me, and then I take them to Mike and say, what can we do to help? And then Mike and I work with them. So we're pretty much team together just to make this all work out. And yes, I'm nervous in front of her.
I think you're killing it.
Of course, I'll get better as I talk. But anything else?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've got one other thing. I tell you what, 2 months ago, when the Northwest Junior Rodeo Association come, approved by your board and the city council, they've not turned any of their paperwork yet. That might get denied because some technicalities, they did not follow the rules, just FYI. We're doing our due diligence, trying to go back to see, when we got the final report, it just wasn't a final report. We tried to go back on ourselves to look, see if they'd used the proper advertisement. We cannot find any of that where they advertised with the convention tourism or even the city of Guymon logo, anything like that. So just bear with us if you hear the rumblings out there. So I'll probably be getting in contact with him sometime this week or next to see what the hang up is. So that was 10,500 or something like that.
I was so excited for that event too, and for it to come here and come to fruition and everything. I thought it was great.
Definitely. And they had every chance to follow the rules, and we just can't.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll see where that goes.
Okay.
They might have something proof, and I hope they do.
Right.
I really do, because you're right. It was a good asset to the
Yep.
community, and
Well, and to not use our logo on their advertisement and have a whole event here and not even, recognize the fact that they were sponsored by the city is kind of frustrating.
we've been trying to find something. Just haven't found it yet. Yeah, like that. Anything, but we can't find it. So.
So will that money just not be used and just stay in the budget? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I?
The money just will stay in our account and just doesn't get dispersed? Okay. I know that Mike and Jeremy are rodeo guys, and Lanny Wilson had mentioned to me about an indoor arena down behind the rodeo arena. Have you guys ever heard any talk about that? No. He kind of had a layout and everything. I don't know if you guys know Lanny, but it was a really cool year-round indoor venue. Sorry to make you keep coming back up to the podium.
Actually, I just remembered. years ago, there was a gentleman that, I think Lanny was part of it. It wasn't behind, it was the arena, and it looked like a mini Astrodome.
Yeah.
We had skyboxes in it, and I mean, it was.
Had like 200
yeah.
stables or
I've got
something?
a copy of that somewhere in my personal archives, like
Yeah.
in my junk room somewhere. I'll see if I can't find that. It was impressive. It was set up to where you could play softball games in.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was a multi-use facility.
It was a really cool concept of taking the county, there was a little kind of river stream that runs behind there, and he says the county might be able to do dirt work at winter time to help revert that somewhere else. And multi-use, all kinds of sports tournaments, not just for rodeo, but it was behind the rodeo arena, so it wouldn't be loud for all the, neighbors up top in that housing development. But if anyone could find anything on it, I would love to see it.
I have that packet somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll try to look. I think I know about where it's at. So it was impressive, but this was like 35 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was very impressive. It did. It was like the old Houston Astrodome is what it looked like.
Yeah. I just think that's a route just to look at, just for options.
Yeah. But
Space well used.
getting back on that was some of the stuff that come out of the public hearing. Staffs will be starting their process of looking at that and visiting with the committees and different people about that. So we're working on it. So
Okay.
it'll be interesting.
Mr. Bickford messaged me and said that he had planned on attending today's meeting, but he had something come up and he hopes to be at the next meeting. That's all I have to say.
Cool.
Is there anything that I could help with, staff or board members, with this, or revenue of, not revenue, but avenues to take, or is there anything we as a board can do?
I don't think you want my
I
resume.
think it'd be cool to get.
I don't think you want my resume.
Well, then we'll have to find more board members, and that was
Towards it.
tough enough.
So they can put their names on the fields.
Hell yeah.
Okay, well, if there's no other staff comments or board comments, then I would entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned.
That's funny.
Was that Carrie or Emily?